Okay, so here we are. This is
You're
about
one of the law.
2.3k, you
You and your
said.
friends are
Okay.
breaking the law. Same as me.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
هرجعكم بيوتكم سالمين. Enemy contact. Get back in the fight. The pain is coming.
Okay. So here you are.
Get back
Why do
in
you
the
feel the
fight.
need to rotate like this? Did you always know that you were going this way to the left?
Not sure. Um, Pretty standard rotation.
Sure, it's a
Yeah,
pretty standard rotation, all right, and it's wrong. So you're right that it's a very standard rotation, but if I'm going left, I am much less exposed to the enemies going from here to here than I am going across this, which they get to shoot downhill at me during, going across here, and going across here, compared to the only exposure I have is going across here. You see what I'm saying?
true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, you try. Unfortunate, but hey,
The
we
pain
get
is
it.
coming.
Not sure about the reload, but okay.
You're going to be okay.
That's a long time to not reload with your one shot. So here you are. I'm actually a little surprised on this one.
You're going to be okay.
You're at 3 shots here, and you can't really get at your Winston, and you're not going to go in front to get your Winston, right?
This was a low rehabituation, I guess. I was like, okay, don't reload unless you need to. Don't reload unless
Okay.
you need to.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just pointing out that, like,
Yeah, it was a good window.
you were
A
very
good
low
window.
on ammo. You would actually have been late to heal this Winston. If you had hit a reload, it would have slowed down your hitting of this Winston, but only by a fraction of an instant, and you had 3 shots left. And now you definitely reload. You have 1 shot left, and there's nothing for you to do, and I just don't care about us not getting 1 shot at Ash here.
Learn the rules before you break them.
What's that?
Like Picasso, you gotta learn the rules before you break them.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Let me try to turn you up a little louder and see if that'll help. Okay, cool.
لسه في ناس لازم احميهم.
Hello there. Regen burst activated.
Okay.
Hello.
And again, you sort of needed to rotate with your team here. So you look at this rotation, and I get what you're doing. I get you're thinking, oh, I want my team in front of me. But no, you needed to rotate with your team here, because now you can't even use your team, their flesh and blood, as a wall for you. Like, oops, now I'm stuck alone.
All better. Now. Get inside. Regen up. This will protect us.
Okay,
Get over
right
there.
idea.
This is going to hurt.
Sure. I don't need to duel that Zarya, not with her bubble.
Just a scratch. You'll be fine.
Right idea. Oh! Oh!
That thing, I realized, like, why is she just standing still? I thought I'm hitting her.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
How about a little extra?
I see you.
Yeah, you do have to track the bubble and sort of know that it's there a little more. And in this situation, because you know where bubble is there, it's the same thing as knowing a Genji's deflect is there, where you shoot at it with regular darts to try to get it out before you go for your bigger stuff in this, sort of one-on-one type situation. Okay. Sure. So this is going well.
It'll take more than that to keep me out of the fight.
I still hate it. I still hate this rotation that you're going to take.
I've seen. You're going to live.
My ultimate is ready.
My ultimate is almost
You mean
ready.
the right stairs or the left room?
I mean the right stairs to the left room. I mean I'm
Okay.
going here like this to ultimately get here. Like again, if you were going like, hey, I'm gonna go through here type thing, or even I'm gonna go through here type thing, sure, but that's not what you're doing.
Okay.
Come here and get stabilized.
Go to sleep.
Robinson Thirst is ready.
You don't have any tools for him. Yep. Okay.
This is going to hurt.
So that's not amazing.
Everyone, on the objective.
Which of your teammates is gonna follow up on this nade?
We're ranked. Me.
Okay. Okay. That's a big ask of yourself.
But also, so would it have been better to just save the nade entirely? Because like getting naded freaks people out as well.
It does. No, getting naded will cause people to back off. It'll cause that Reinhardt, for example, to get. I assume that's their Reinhardt. No, it can't be their Reinhardt because they don't have a Reinhardt. That's your Reinhardt. Colors are weird through walls like that.
It's weird. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
They
So
should change that.
it's fine. So yeah, it'll probably cause these people to back off from supporting their Doomfist a little bit. So like, hey, that's got some value. But you have to sort of think, okay, is there going to be a better use of this nade before I'd get this nade back, or in the next 4, 5, 6 seconds or so? And maybe there won't be, but I look at this and go, I knew that you were never going to get an elimination off of this, and I didn't think that your Genji was going to go after it. Maybe you thought he was going to go after it. Maybe he would have gone after it, So that could be the justification right there. But you look at this and sort of go, I want to sort of make sure that my nade is getting me something. Them cowering and backing off could be something, but is it really enough to justify it? I feel like I can accomplish that same thing. Well, you know what? We'll just go with it. We'll just go with it. That's fine. We look at this and go, hey, you hit this. Do they back off? No. In the end, ultimately, that happens. Sure. And our Genji follows up on it with Blade, which he'd have done anyways, but that's fine. We'll take it. That said,
This is going to hurt.
you just don't care about this Blade. Okay.
You're powered up.
Okay. That Blade is over. Like, this Blade is already over by the time he gets Nano. He's more than halfway done with this, and he's gotten his 2 eliminations. So, not in love with that. We just needed to look. Like, we literally needed to look when he bladed. We wouldn't have been able to get him immediately, but we would have been able to get him quite a bit faster. So here we are.
This is going to
You
hurt.
couldn't get the Blade on him immediately, but you can get the Blade on him now, I bet. Yup. Or the Nano on him. You know what I'm trying to say. Words are hard.
You're powered up. Get in there. Take your time.
60 seconds.
Fire at will.
Sure. Reasonable nade.
I got a lot to learn.
Objective A captured.
Stay out of my way.
New defense point. Objective B.
Oh, look like you needed some healing.
Okay. You don't see that he's to the right. Oh boy. Well. Interesting. I'm not sure I'd have gone for this, but hey.
All better.
It's just a scratch. You'll be
There is a combo which I don't know exactly how to execute, but I tried.
Well, the combo doesn't finish her. I mean, what you go for there is you're effectively going for a shoot nade shoot, or you can get really complicated.
That's shoot nade, shoot nade melee, right? Shoot nade, shoot melee.
Right.
Is that the one?
But yes, it is, but she's got control of her hero in time to shoot you long before that combo's over. Like, that's your fastest damage combo, but it's not that. Now, you can make it a little bit better by doing something that's a little more in the nade up in the air, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, shoot melee shoot, which would be like, hey, that's a faster burst if you can time the nade right, but you all in, you're waiting for your nade to come down, you have to get the timing right, and that she's going to have a harder time reacting to, but shoot, nade, shoot, melee is a long combo for her to not get your remaining health down during. But that's okay.
Yeah, I thought it was about the animation, like the sleep when you wake up if you time it right, or is that not a thing?
So yes, if someone is naturally waking up from sleep, it takes them a little bit longer than if they're getting hit from the sleep. So if you time it just perfectly, you can get a tiny bit more in terms of the time that they're locked out of control of their hero. It's still not actually enough to allow you to do a 4-hit combo without them being able to shoot you. Yeah. Interesting. You just don't know how much ammo you have here. You would never have rounded this corner if you realized you had no ammo, I assume. Okay. Yeah. You just weren't aware of your clip. Okay.
They have been revived.
في الامتحان يكرم المرء أو يهان. أنا هاخد بالي منك.
Why are you here?
أنا هاخد بالي منك.
If you tuck right, you can put yourself in a situation where you can heal Reinhardt, but they can't shoot you, right?
I wanted to heal myself, the Reinhardt, and anti the hog.
Right. And I really hope this mercy boosted Ash doesn't shoot me, or this hog doesn't turn and shoot me, or this Zarya doesn't shoot me. Like that. I get that you would like to nade yourself. I understand that, but you can't walk across this. You're on fire walking across this with 80 health. Like, no, you can't do that. That's just way too dangerous.
Get to you.
Okay, that's fine.
I wasn't cut out for retirement anyway.
Let's see if we can upgrade our positioning a little better for the remaining 2 minutes of this attack. Sure.
You're covered.
I don't love that, but okay.
Tactical visor ready. My ultimate is ready. Tactical visor ready for deployment.
So I assume you want the nano blade, but like again, does this feel like a thing that you can do?
Is that a hog? I think that's out of his range.
You are out of his hook range, but just sort of generally speaking, like, do you want to spend any amount of time here? Like, here, let's back up.
Well, I don't know what I do, but I would try to just rotate to the next cover.
Oh yeah?
The Genji wasn't in chat, so it wasn't really a coordinated thing. It's just like, oh, if he's waiting and I have nano, I guess I'll nano him.
Yeah, no. And
So,
that's what I
yeah.
expect. I expect you to try to position so that you can get your nano onto his blade. I totally expect that. And if this had been a I'm immediately rotating through thing, I'd have lived with it, though I didn't like it. I really would have preferred, hey, let me come through here and I'll take my angle over here. If he's going in, I will have a chance to nano him as he goes across. Like, it will be obvious I will have a chance to nano, or I'll be able to gently peek from here. I'm just not liking that you're like running it down mid here without even like your roadhog or ball or anything in front of you, sort of going, the leaders of this push are going to be my Genji and my soldier, and that's a good reason for me to go down main. And I'm sort of like, are we gonna have any presence? Like, you don't have your team in front of you. You don't have any tank presence set up. Like, it's not time for you to be in yet. Now, if you're Genji Blades, yes, you want to get nano on him. I'm not saying that you don't, but like, you just sort of hovered here. And even if you'd clean rotated through here, sure, so be it. I don't love it, but so be it. But then get yourself to here where you can, again, your Genji coming up this flank, you will be able to get a nano on from here.
It's not like anyone was there. Like, if there were a bunch of people in front of that statue thing, then yeah, I would have gone straight to cover us in ASAP.
Sure, okay.
My ultimate tactical visor ready for deployment.
I mean, I really hope that like
She'll
an
be
Ash
fine.
doesn't peek or something, but sure.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Okay. We don't really want to be this far up on the point. We're okay
Yeah.
because we've wiped them so hard. Go ahead.
No, I know.
Okay.
It's the magnet. The
Okay.
magnet.
Didn't love that nade either, but okay. Good.
What?
Ready for battle.
Imagine the worst possible outcome. Now, avoid.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Okay, choosing to play from back here. What's your comp? Yeah, that's okay.
1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
I've seen worse. You're going to live.
Free healing reload, fine.
Heal up.
Oh, too low.
Okay,
Too
so you're
low
just
now.
trying to send that into the room. Good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Heal up.
Sure.
back in.
You don't need him. You know where the Genji is for now. Eventually you'll be able to heal him.
This will help. And careful for me.
Good nade.
Watching you.
Prioritize based on risk. Check again. Good. I mean, we can micro that a little bit, but mostly this has been a good sequence from you up until about then. So this is all pretty good in terms of you deciding how long you can look where based on which shots to fire. We like this. You're over here, and this is a, okay, what am I going to do type situation, and you decide that I'm going to throw a nade that wasn't really like, I assumed the target was Mercy. Was your target someone else?
The blue people.
The blue people. Okay, okay. I like
That
nading the
I
blue
could
people
not
too.
name.
No problem. And then we've got this, and you go for your follow-up shot, but now it's time to bring it back to Ryan, and instead you just take one too many shots there. Like, not a big deal.
Go. I'll keep you healed.
And, you know, we had the option to nade on the ground, or we could have gotten Hog and on our Reinhardt. We could have gotten Hog and Genji. We could have hit the same nade on the Mercy, but then hit our follow-up shot and then gone, I can't greed another. I've already been looking away for a nade plus this, plus my last shot was up over top left. So now it's time to go, okay, I need to check back on my team. Like, you were actually doing a really good job for most of this fight in terms of how long you were, quote unquote, allowed to look away from different teammates before you have to check on them again. And then it sort of fell apart right there because you just spent one shot too long, and that's what it comes down to. But that was a good sequence. Okay.
I think I fell off by accident.
Okay. If this was an accident, so be it.
Happens quite a bit. Or at least more than I'd like to admit.
What, falling off happens more than you'd
Yeah,
like to
falling
admit?
off.
Got
Yes.
it.
You're not getting rid
Okay.
of that easily.
Wasting your forward.
Objective lost.
This
New
is going to
defense
hurt.
point. Objective
Where are you going to play from?
My teleporter is online.
How about a little extra?
Take your medicine.
Good follow-up. Nope. Nope. You understand why that's a nope, right? Is she in danger?
I just reloaded.
Oh,
Well,
so
yeah, I just left the hog. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, like you just slept the hog. She's not in danger, and she's about to break line of sight anyways. Like she's actually already broken line of sight. Like she is fine. We just want to go ahead and hit her with a normal shot.
Die. You're powered up.
Sure.
Get in there. You're powered up. Get in there.
Doesn't cost you there, but that's the second time that you're a little bit slow on what we expect for nanoing blades. Again, I don't care that he's not in comms. Like it's just an Ana skill.
Go.
It certainly makes it harder, but it's fine. That's shallow
But
again.
isn't it? Wouldn't it be? Isn't it? Maybe I was late to react, but isn't that good that he's effectively getting a little more time on the nano by me reacting a little late?
Understandable why you'd think that, but no, because what happens here is he's also pulling a lot of shots to him, and the nano gives him protection while he's vulnerable doing this. And your nano now is going to last his whole blade, which is what we need. We need him to not get eliminated during his nano blade, and we need his nano blade to do work. So we don't want to nano him halfway through the blade because he had the chance to get eliminated in all that time, but also he potentially got less work done. And really it's the first slash or two at the blade that are going to make the biggest difference, but what it's really going to come down to is your nano will still cover his whole blade regardless, as long as you get it off now, half a second from now, whatever. But there's more potential for him to get hooked and then you can't follow up on your blade. For him to get hit by a flashbang and then eliminated, hit by a bash and then eliminated. Like he's got more vulnerability here. Does it happen this time? Absolutely not. Is it particularly likely to happen this time? Absolutely not. But if he takes, a bunch of burst damage from headshots from someone, that's going to be really unfun. And it's something that we could have prevented. It's something that we want to get good at preventing, and we don't, in general, want to delay. Is it a big deal this time? Absolutely not. And if you want to look at this from his perspective, okay, so his blade's over. I don't care if he's nanoed anymore. I really don't. He's still nanoed. He's still nanoed. Still nanoed. Still nanoed. Okay, he's nanoed until he's eliminated there. But I'm pointing out that there is more time on the nano than there is on the blade. And that's a second rather shallow nade in terms of what I think you're going for. So something to be aware of. Tuck right. Why are you here? Why are you going back and forth in the middle of this? Like, this Genji scared you off appropriately, and yes, you've got the lamp, but ultimately we're going to want to work our way. I mean, if we're not driving the Genji off, we're going to want to work our way to the right away from the Genji here. But let's see what we do.
Enemies re-engaging.
You're here. You have your lamp. You're going to play on your lamp. Are you going to move once your lamp's over? No, you're going to move back after that's happened. Fine. And now you're winning enough to take space. Okay.
Helden sterben nicht. أنا هنا كنت مني.
Taking the high ground.
Sure.
I have your back.
Reaching up. Let them up. Reaching up. Let.
I'll get one more.
Get in here. Let them up.
This is going to hurt.
Yeah, okay. Again, a little bit shallow. Like, yes, you got him here, but like his retreat path was like this. We'd have expected that to be, just a pixel or two further up, but that's okay.
The pain.
Sure.
Enemy is engaged. Get back. Your power down.
Why?
Get back.
Why are you running into the point here? Is it for this nade?
I wanted to nano the monkey.
Okay.
I thought that was the win condition. He got swept, but
Okay.
fingers were already on the buttons.
Yeah, okay.
Get healed. Your power down.
Well,
Get in there.
I mean, not really. He'd been slept for a long time there.
That's what I decided to do, and that's what yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand. I was just surprised that you have a grabbed team here and you're walking towards the grab. Like, yes, it puts you in the lamp, but you're walking towards the grab and you're walking here. And maybe if this is to get an offensive nade off, okay, but I wouldn't bother with an offensive nade. I'd happily take the defensive nade that'll get the hog anyway, type situation.
Good point.
Get healed. Your power down. Get in there. Reality bends to my will.
You need to be good. Take your sim shield. Take your sim shield. It's much more permanent. It's much more permanent than your Orisa. Okay.
Die fever.
Don't really want you here, but okay.
Our enemy returns.
Oh boy.
I will keep you alive.
I assume that was a misclick.
Yeah. Mouse 5.
Yep.
Right.
Go.
Good
I'll
check.
keep you healed. The pain. You're covered.
Use your ears. Check left. Good.
This will only hurt.
Sure.
Go. I'll keep you healed.
Oh yeah, our monkey was really mad for some reason. He was like that no one followed up into that room with him.
Ha!
Yeah, I don't think he was right, but Yeah.
Sure. So we
Go.
can take.
I mean, I just didn't know. Like, he didn't say anything. He just went and ulted.
Yeah, so that's a good soft engage to take right there. Like what you and Genji and
This one
him
only
and
hurt
Sim
for
are all
a
doing is good here. This is a nice, good soft engage where we go, hey, can we get any nice punishes here? And we lost our Genji, and we didn't then get their Zarya traded out right there. So this is over. Like this is the sort of, hey, they got away, we're not going to go in any further. Like we lost our Genji, which is unfortunate. We're not going to go force the run in there. We wanted to take the soft engage here and see what we could get. And if we got massively ahead, we might have followed, but we certainly didn't get massively ahead.
Go. I'll keep you here.
He's just salted and he got eliminated. Nope, nope.
Let them out.
Are you thinking about the Zarya bubble right now? Is that why you're nading rather than sleeping first?
Not thinking about
Okay, then let's just sleep this. I mean, he's vulnerable while he's pulling his sword out like this, so we would love to hit the sleep dart.
Heal up.
And we're not really going to have time to hit the sleep dart now, even if he wasn't bubbled, because A, we're locked into our bubble and our nade animation, but B, he's going to eliminate us too fast if he gets that dash damage. Oh, he didn't actually get the dash damage. Interesting. I'm surprised that we got a chance. He could have aimed that dash better.
that.
Go ahead.
Is that the rule of thumb for Genji blades? Just during that initial animation is the best time to go for it?
If they're close enough to you for it to be reasonable, yes. If they're pretty far away with it, not necessarily, but that wasn't a particularly hard one. Like, I'm not saying I expect you to hit that 9 out of 10 times or anything, but that wasn't particularly hard in terms of distance, in terms of how much he was falling, in terms of other bodies in the way or anything like that. So yes, you'd go for that. If you can't get it,
Okay.
then your next time is going to be okay when he's dashed at someone, even if it's me, is when I'm going to go for it. But yes, that when he's pulling out his blade, that's kind of when he's stuck. And it's like, okay, well, you can't deflect. I'm going to hit you with the sleep now.
Okay.
Initiating match. Ready for battle. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Okay.
Order will be restored.
If we do make it to the end, you're gonna see some flea market Lucio.
Okay. Okay. Well, I bet we can make it.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A. Form up.
You're going to be
Sure.
online.
Oh, look, it's my favorite rotation.
60 seconds remaining.
Sure. Less good. You do that in general, where you're like, I'm going to dump my nade and then I'm immediately going to dump my sleep. Like, that just seems to be a habitual combo for you. And I'd like you to think a little bit more about that one. Like, it's not like it's terrible or anything, but how do I want to get into this?
That's fair.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
not.
it's just when I move into a position where it's like close quarters,
Right.
and especially if I get an anti on somebody, that I feel like if they're antied and slept, they're probably gonna die. But that's a fair point.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that before.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's true. If they're antied and they're slept, they're probably going to get eliminated. But you also run into, okay, is my sleep is just a very short stun right here, which is fine. That can be enough to make sure that they get eliminated. But I'd like a little bit more appraisal of the situation, and I also want to make sure it's not going to be the case if you're doing this when you don't know if, oh, say, there's a Genji that's coming right over here, etc. Like I'm curious how habitual this is.
Okay.
Good news. Yeah. You're too close for what you have. So like I get it in some ways.
You're covered.
Why do you think you can be here, especially without any cooldowns?
Good reason.
Okay. Okay. All good. All good. Yeah. And that Hog was able to get out and you weren't is sort of a what? Why are we so close to the fight type thing?
30 seconds remaining.
Time is running out.
Take your medicine. Get me.
I was just determined for our Hog to win the
Take your
Hog
medicine.
battles.
Determined for your Hog to win the Hog battles. Okay, I'm good with that. But I don't really like that I'm here right now, right? Like, wait, there's a Hanzo shooting at me, and I don't like this. And now I'm trying to, like, strafe dance the Hanzo while I heal my Symmetra. So what are my better options than this?
Like in this frame, from this frame moving
Or
forward,
even just,
or like
sure, even just conceptually. You can say, from this frame moving forward, sure. What are we going to do rather than continuing to dodge the Hanzo while we continue to try to heal the Symmetra?
uh, maybe don't heal the Symmetra and move to cover faster.
That's an option, but what I'd say is we could have gone into this cover and just said, well, I'm going to influence the battle over here, right? Like, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to be like, hey, I can heal my Hog, I can shoot at their Hog, I can do whatever I want. My Symmetra's on her own, she's got shield health that'll recover on its own, no big deal. Or alternatively, I can just keep going forward, right? Because I might still use some movement, but I can work my way forward so that Hanzo can't see me, and then I can heal Symmetra. Or I can heal Symmetra while I'm moving my way forward, but I can get forward. What's that?
Yeah, that's you're right about the left root. That's what I was thinking. 'Cause I guess I was like, okay, low health person, but looking at this frame, I'm like, okay, well, she's safe,
Right.
so I should get to cover faster.
Yep. And you're unfortunately just continuing to sort of dance in the open here. Yeah. And again, we see that same exact thing where you go, hey, I do this, I throw my nade, and then immediately, regardless of the situation, I'm going to invest this. And, you know, he wasn't eliminated when you invested that, but it's still like, that's a big investment for something that we had.
10 seconds remaining.
In that particular case, it may have been because I knew it was kind of a bad situation.
Sure, you're just trying to get your ability power off as much as you can because you think you're about to get eliminated. I understand.
But you're right, yeah, the other situations have been a pattern.
Taking possession of the objective. Enemies reviving. Prepare to re-engage.
Walk it off.
That makes me so sad. These shallow nades. Sleep him. Little. Okay, you got him. Good hit. Cool. What? Where's our? Really? Oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
So like,
So
I'm looking at
bad.
this, and I'm surprised, to be perfectly honest, that you're going, nope. I have the discipline to not nano my Hog, my Hog basically a couple frames ago, where it's like, yep, I'm gonna nano my Hog to make sure we put this away. But you had the discipline not to, and my guess is that that's so that you can make sure you're thinking, nope, I think we've got this, and I'm gonna hold this for the next fight so that we have something to try to take second with. Which,
Exactly. Yeah, that was my thought process.
okay, cool. But then, yeah.
Yeah, this is
And
just
why do
so.
you even want to be close to this in the first place? Like, this is, again, the biggest problem I've had with your gameplay is why are you wanting to be here as opposed to, like, here in the first place? You have work that you can be doing from here. This hog is still missing health. Like, you're still missing health. You've still got a fight going on over here. Like, why are you trying to stay so in these fights? Like, oh, the fight's wandering over here. Let me wander into it type thing. Can we not?
It's,
Go ahead.
yeah, it's both maybe partially like a DPS habit
Sure.
to be in the action, but also another like thing in the back of my mind is like, okay, don't be on the point because the point is more dangerous, whereas I can heal from range.
That's true. That's true. But that would
Yeah,
be true if you
and
were playing from like
yeah,
here or even up here. You at this point, like, no, this is actually more dangerous because it's more sight lines on you. There's a sight line from here. There's a sight line from here. There's a sight line from here. Whereas you have less sight lines on you if you're on the point. But okay.
there's that bonus.
Round 3. Complete.
Painful. I'm sure that got a letter number
Initiating match.
in the chat.
Never
Ready
stop
for
fighting
battle.
for what you believe in.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Parez pour commencer.
I've seen worse. You're going to live.
You all look like you needed some healing.
Name me.
Sure. Oh, that was totally who you meant it with that.
Get back in the fight.
So I'm good up until that last one. Literally, I'm good up until that last shot, where it's like, yep, these are good, fine, sure, and now you're fine. And your hog is your wall for you, but that Orisa is clearly, not something that you need to tangle with right now. Has a shield, has lots of health left. I don't want to trade any time shooting it to get shot at by that Orisa, unless my hog is walling for me, which he's not. Panic nade there.
Routing navigation systems to defend. 60 seconds remaining.
Great saving from our Genji.
What's that?
No, great movement from our Genji.
Oh, yes. They do that.
That was another accident. That was another accident.
Okay.
So far,
Just
I think.
making sure. Just making sure. You don't want to compromise your positioning like this most of the time on this point, but that's okay. Please stop walking forward. Okay.
This will only
Nice.
work for a minute.
Double, triple.
Sure.
I'm on fire. Keep out of my way.
Sleep, sleep, sleep. I'm sure you fell on accident there.
30 seconds.
I hope you fell on accident there. Good.
10 seconds remaining.
Get back in the fight. You're powered up. Get in there. You're powered up. Get in. Get back in the fight.
Sure.
You're powered up. Get in there. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, their Baptiste is wearing the same clothes as my Baptiste, so
You feel that?
took me a while to react.
Check this out.
Lucio, you're gonna carry and save it all on Lucio.
Top 500 rollout.
Oh boy. You just instantly amp for your ball?
Yes. For whoever's on point.
Yeah, but your other people are healthy. Okay.
Yeah, let's move it, people. Yeah, time to heal up.
I like the wall. This thing is a little annoying that it sticks out, but you know, your wall is still pretty good. Still pretty good. It's fine, just make sure oh he unhooked for you, good. Why are we not okay.
Push on.
You can hit amp again. You're not really helping a ton with your amp, but that's okay. And you guys are gonna stabilize. Questionable boot, but okay. Sure. Okay. So I don't care about your Lucio. Obviously, you have no wall riding ability whatsoever. I mean, that was wonderful. No. So obviously, if you wanted to get better at Lucio, you would have to practice your wall riding. The rollout is one thing, but also just like there was nothing here in terms of hey, get up on this, play here. There was a tiny bit over here, but even just like hey, I'm gonna play over here where I can actually have a little more access to the point if I want. Things like that. The amp wasn't my favorite, and then I would have liked you to mark Tracer harder when Tracer was running around with the Nano. That's freaking scary, the Tracer with the Nano is Lucio, but it's still better than letting her run around unchecked. The real stuff we get to... What's that?
Well, yeah, I don't play Lucio that often. It's just I wanted to get back to point fast.
Oh, sure.
In that regard, I did have a question about Lucio. They recently, not like a couple of months ago, they changed his wall riding where now it's like it automatically jumps off. Whereas when I first tried to play Lucio and I watched like videos on how it's like
Mm-hmm.
you on your scroll wheel, so you would like basically scroll. And do you have any opinion on which is better?
Um, it's never bothered me terribly. I know people who will swear by their Lucio key bindings, but it's never terribly bothered me to do the jump and wall ride as the same button. Like that hasn't super bothered me the way I know it bothers some people. But I will not claim that Lucio is my strongest hero. So take that for what you will.
Yeah, no, I don't mean about the key binding. I mean, the point back in the day was if you bind your jump to the scroll wheel,
Mhm.
then you can, by just scrolling, you get to jump on and jump off really fast just by scrolling. But now, as soon as you let go of the right click or your jump key, it automatically jumps.
Right. Okay.
Okay, well, let's move on.
Sorry,
I'm not a not a
I'm
Lucio
looking
man.
for the question there. You're saying it automatically pops you off, and I'm like, okay. So what you said,
But like so, but beforehand, it would just you wouldn't get that
right,
speed boost. You would have to jump and then jump off.
right,
Whereas if you just let go, now it jumps off automatically.
right. Okay, got it, got it. I see what you're saying. Yes.
And it's like a thing you can toggle now.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
yeah.
Okay, let's move on to
No,
Anna
no big
because
deal. No
we're
big
getting
deal.
pulled
Yep,
into
yep,
a Lucio discussion,
yep.
and I think we're really here to talk about the Anna, so that's what we're gonna
Right,
do. So
right.
what we're going to do with the Anna is the things that we're going to focus in on is first off, when you played from here, you played quite well. Your shot selection was pretty good. I was okay with your what you were doing in terms of when you were healing, when you're shooting at enemies, and in some ways, though, it's easy. You don't have to think about it. There's no real enemy pressure on you when you're here, so it's sort of easier to play her well. But you played her well when you played from here. You made good decisions. The problem is, this wasn't always where you played her from. Now, sometimes you just fell down. A couple times you just fell down. But other times it would be like, I'm playing here. I'm playing here. I'm playing here. I'm playing here. Occasionally got, hey, I'm playing from over here, but there was a lot of sort of being in the middle of the fight. And I think it is your I'm a McCree mindset type thing going on. I'm a DPS player mindset going on. I'm chilling here just trying to dodge rather than being like, let me just change the angle and contribute like this. Let me go like this. Like, you get dragged into the fight too much, and I don't know if that, I mean, some of that is clearly you let yourself get dragged into the fight, but some of that is you falling down. And the falling down thing we'll get to, but like, you're in the middle of the fight too much as Anna, which is a shame because you've got reasonable judgment when you're not in the fight. So like I want you to play into the fact that you're a sniper and try to play a little bit further back and try not to get pulled into the fight in the same way. Do you see what I'm saying with this in terms of how that happened in this match repeatedly?
Right. Yeah. I guess like the ultimate value is to stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, the ultimate value is to stay alive, but also you can see more. You can make better decisions when you have a sight line that lets you see more of your teammates. Oh, there's a good nade I can place over there. Oh, I can make a good decision of who actually needs healing. Whereas then when I'm in the middle of it here, I'm healing my hog who's over here, and I don't even see that my Genji is over there fighting an Orisa. Like when I'm in the middle here, I don't even really know what's going on when I'm in the middle of it, and I sort of need a better view of the fight when I'm a support like this. I have to be paying attention to all my little hens when I'm a support. I have to be able to go, I'm paying attention to you, I'm paying attention to you. It's been too long, I need to check back on you, and I can't really do that the same way when I'm in the middle of the fight. Now sometimes you can get forced into an isolated duel, and you just have to ignore the rest of your team and going, I'm protecting myself, I'm dealing with myself, I'm dealing with what's here, but you don't want to be in positions that force you into duels very often. You want to make them have to take work and time before they can force you into duels. You don't want to be, I'm in here looking to, at close range, use my nade and use my sleep and things like that.
So just play in a position where you can see most of your teammates, I guess.
Sure.
So
I want you
yeah.
to play. I want you to play her a little more like she's a healing sniper. A little more like, hey, I'm looking to play from over here. If I get pressured, maybe I'll switch and play from over here. I'm looking to play from back here. If I need to rotate with my team, so be it. But then when my team goes in through here, I'm mostly going to stay back and let my team continue to go ahead type thing. I'm mostly going to stay back and let my team go ahead type thing. I will close. I will, as we start to win, I will rotate in tighter, like to here, but I'm probably not going to rotate into here, for example. So yeah, I want you to play her more like she's the granny sniper that she is, where you go, hey, I'm actually willing to let my team get ahead of me. I want the team fight to happen kind of in front of me as opposed to on top of me. Like, even from an offensive standpoint, I want the team fight to happen in front of me rather than on top of me. And I want it to be hard for the team fight to move from here to here. So I don't want to creep into this. Now, again, I might go up for an offensive nade type thing, but that's sort of the limit, and I don't really want to be doing a bunch of forward get close to use nades. I want to more be taking angles to get nades. So if I'm going up here to hit an angle for a nade, it's because the fight is still over here, not when the fight is here. You're getting sucked into fights a little too much, or maybe you're just falling off high ground too much, and that's what's causing you to then play in fights. But I really would like you to actively position and try to stay positioned a little more removed from the fights. You with me?
I'm with you.
Okay. So that's the first thing. Now I can't not comment on. Come on, man. You fell off. You fell off high ground like 3-4 times in this match. You just fell off stuff. Like you just gotta. You just have to learn the maps. Like, yes, you're going to lose games if you have good positioning, and then suddenly you don't. That's going to lose you some games. So, like, that just has to be practiced.
Yeah.
And then,
It's like you
go ahead.
gotta get that. It's like the better sight line you get, like the closer you have to get to the
It's
edge,
true.
and
It's
then
true.
when stuff is going on, then it's so easy.
Hey, I'm hanging
No,
off the point except for half of 1 foot, man. I got this. I got this. I understand. I understand, but you can't fall. And if you especially
okay.
can't fall that often. So that's just something that should come with practice, but I can't not call it out. Like, why am I losing? Well,
Right,
you're falling down, and yeah. So that's there. I would also like you to actually get some nade practice. Like you can literally just go practice your nades in a custom game. You can go, hey, I'm going to turn off the cooldown on it, and I'm going to run around, and I'm going to try to hit the same spot. So let's say I decide that the spot that I want to hit with a nade is this doorway right here. Cool. I'm going to try to hit that spot from here. Now I'm going to try to hit it from here. Now I'm going to try to hit it from here. Now I'm going to try to hit it from here. Now I'm going to try to hit it from here. And you'll get really good at sort of fixing the location, and then you pick a new spot. And that new spot might be the top of the fountain, where you go, okay, I'll throw my nade and I'll hit the top of the fountain. I didn't, let me adjust, now I hit it. Now can I hit the top of the fountain from here? What about from here? And you just pick a spot, and it doesn't even have to be a super relevant spot, though it can be, but you're just picking the spot to sort of get control of your nade at different distances. Does that make sense? Yeah, and you can mix that up and go, okay, now I'm going to get more advanced, and I'm going to like take a shot at the top of the fountain and then nade it. And then I'm going to take a shot at the top of the fountain and then nade it. And then I'm going to take a shot at the top of the fountain and then nade it. Like you can make it more advanced for yourself so that you get good at the transition, but that's all that you need to do, and you probably only need to do that. Like that'll get pretty boring pretty fast. So like do that for 10 minutes. And then if you feel your nades aren't great, do it again for 10 more minutes 2 days from now. And then you'll probably be pretty darn comfortable with your nades, to be perfectly honest. So we talked about you really need to stay further away from the fights, and that is going to be your biggest thing. I'd like you to go do some nade drills. Please don't fall off so much. And then there was another thing there that was briefly on.
There was the use those cooldowns at the same time repeatedly.
Yes, that was the final thing where I want just a little more thought going into that. I'm not saying I'm not in any way forbidding you from using both cooldowns at the same time there, but I want a little more thought going into that because it is also sending up a flare to the opposing team of Ariana's defenseless, Ariana's defenseless. If you use one cooldown and then like 4 seconds, 6 seconds later use the other one, it's a lot easier to lose track of, wait, when did she use her first one again? You're sending up a flare to the enemy team, and it's also a little bit of a, because you're running and gunning, you're a little close in these fights, you're then still in these fights. You're not backing off after you've used both of your cooldowns, and then you find things like, I've used both of my cooldowns, and now there's a hog in my face. Ooh, I got out. Oh, and now there's a hog in my face again, and I still don't have cooldown. And it's like, well, we shouldn't really be here, but also after we've used our cooldowns, we again need to get even more obsessed about, hey, we want our positioning to be safer. So that's where I would take you with this. Do you have any final questions before we call it?
Yes, on Baptiste.
Mm-hmm.
So my teammates love to just jump. So should I just aim for the feet always?
With
Or
Bap, well, you can for the squishies, but you should be able to hit Reinhardt's directs or Diva directs regardless. Yeah, you can for your squishies. You don't care. You can hit splash on your squishies. Try to hit your tanks with directs, please. But try your squishies. You can just be like, yeah, splash. I don't care. That's fine for now.
Yeah, and I know jumping is a bad habit, and but it's just so much more frustrating when you're the one trying to heal the jumping people. That's when it really becomes evident.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay. Then I think we're good to call it there. Let me go ahead and end that, guy.